Hey everyone, my name is Kate and I'm with Epic Custom Cars. This is my Subaru WRX STI Limited. So I wanted to make this video because I have owned both a WRX and I now have the STI. So I wanted to talk about the differences, the similarities, as well as my experience having owned both cars. And then I'll also show you guys what I have done already to my STI. I plan on finishing up with some clips of my exhaust system, so make sure you stick around for that. But let's go ahead and get started. So the big reason why I wanted to talk about the WRX versus the STI is because I've owned both a 2018 Subaru WRX and now I have the 2018 Subaru WRX STI. And for being from the same year and owning both cars, I had my WRX for just about 3 years and then I've had this one for 8 months now. So I'd like to say I'm very comfortable with the cars. I've definitely adapted to the differences. So the reason why I went with the WRX is they're both very sharp looking all-wheel drive cars, turbocharged engine, a 4-door sedan, and also a 6-speed transmission. And finding something that fit my lifestyle, whereas I'm always outdoors, I'm in the mountains a lot, I like to race around, and I like having a clean looking car, the Subaru WRX STI and the WRX both kind of fall into what I was looking for exactly. When I got rid of my WRX, I needed to find something. I had looked at Audi, I looked at BMW, I considered a Civic Type R, I wanted an Evo, but you know, it's not necessarily reliable either. Well, you know, it's as reliable as you make it, but since they aren't in production, I like having a brand new car because I'm a spoiled brat. I almost bought a Ford Focus RS. So glad I didn't, but you know, as I was just kind of tackling every idea over what car I actually wanted, it's, you know, it just occurred to me that holy shit, I could buy a WRX STI, you know. So I found this one in Dallas, Texas. I did it all remotely. It was really scary just buying a car, you know, blindly, not seeing it, not test driving it. It had only one owner, only had 20,000 miles. It was very clean, and you know, there was just a couple of minor things. There was like a dent in the trunk and, you know, just nothing that I was really concerned about. So just found it online. Next day I drove 11 hours down there in my old WRX, found it. It was beautiful, everything was perfect. Really lucked out on it, took it home that day, and you know, it's all been freaking great from there. So if you're looking for something like that, I definitely recommend the Subaru WRX. I really hope that this video kind of like seals the deal for you and you can kind of see the ins and outs of it. There are some pros, there are a little bit of cons, but mostly pros. So the WRX and the STI, so they're two differences. Although they look very similar and they perform very similar, there are some differences that lead to big differences in either the performance and then how it drives daily and on the track. So the WRX is a 2.0 liter. It is turbocharged flat 4 engine. It has about 268 horsepower, 258 pounds of torque. I had the premium model, which is, so there's a base, there's a premium, and then there's a limited. So I went with the premium. I did get the performance package, so I got the STI short throw shifter, Recaro seats, and red brake calipers. And then the WRX ranges in between like 27,000 with maybe a max of like 34,000 if you get the limited, with all the additional add-ons and such. And then the STI is a 2.5 liter, gets about 310 horsepower and 290 pounds of torque. It does change in Colorado just because it is at high altitude, so those numbers are a little bit lower, but you know, it's about the same. It also has the base, premium, and limited. With the STI, I have the limited with the performance package, so it's like top tier. So in that, I have the neon brake calipers, Recaro seats, STI short throw. Stock, it came with the STI performance exhaust, which does sound pretty good, but you know, I did swap it out and go with the MagnaFLow axle back. And then my WRX didn't have the moonroof, but my STI does, and I'm so happy I have it. I love it. But the STI price range, brand new, does range from 36 to about 44,000. You can buy used ones, but from what I've seen, especially even in trading in my WRX, is like they don't lose value. So I had joined a forum and I had another ambassador program discount, so I bought my WRX brand new. I did order it ahead of time before it came out in 2017. I ordered that, and I think I bought it for 32,000. After, you know, the engine being blown, I got hail damage on it because I know it's in Colorado. I was able to trade it in, and then I bought this one for 34. So, you know, it really kind of worked out pretty well for me, if I do say so. And then just talking about like the differences between the two. So obviously the STI, although it has a larger turbo, it does take longer for that to spool up, and that results in a turbo lag. So the WRX might seem like it responds a little bit faster as far as like getting performance from your turbo, but that's really not too much of a difference for me. I think as you start driving the car, you get more familiar with how that turbo responds and like what you expect from it, so that just takes some getting used to. And then obviously the differences, we have the big STI wing, which you had talked about. There is an upgraded suspension on the STI. I think that was the biggest difference that I noticed, aside from turbo lag. But the suspension on this, going from the WRX to the STI, is massive. It's huge. So it took not too much getting used to. I like it a lot more. It makes it much more of like a track monster, so I don't complain about that. The STI also has thicker tires than the WRX, and then obviously better brakes. So there's like the regular WRX brake and there's Brembo brakes. So long story short, if you're upgrading from the WRX to the STI, or if you're just looking to either buy a STI or just buy a WRX, the WRX is going to be your more affordable option, but it's also a little bit less aggressive if you're looking for like a heavy sports car. The STI does have stiffer springs and like a tighter steering, so just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure you can test drive them, but just be aware that like the clutches are very particular. Basically need a pilot's license in order to drive this car, so you know, if you're not an experienced manual driver, maybe test out a friend's. Don't hit me up, it won't be me. So that's just some of the differences between the WRX versus the STI. If you have any questions, or maybe if I didn't cover something, just, you know, let me know in the comments below, or just reach out to me directly and hopefully I can clear up something. Now I want to jump into what I have done to my Subaru. So really it's not like a long list of things, so I'll just kind of go over different things and I'll show you some clips of it. First thing I did was the fog light housing with the neons. That was a big thing because my Subaru didn't come stock with the fog lights, although my WRX did. So, and then rain guards, updated the wheels and the tires, switched out the brakes. I have the MagnaFLow exhaust system. I already have the performance package, and then I do have a cob access port. I don't keep it plugged in just because I don't like the risk of it, and I don't necessarily like the look. I don't like having like things on my dashboard. And then I also did like the ceramic coating. So the ceramic coating is all the way around the body, and then I also did my wheels as well. So looking at the front here, when I bought the STI, it did come stock with this whole fog light housing, kind of like a honeycomb feel, but a little bit smaller over here. So I just ordered this whole piece through Speed. They have a few different options, but the only thing I really cared about was just getting the fog light housing down here. And then instead of going with either like white or yellow bulbs, I went with the neon, so that way it matches the neon brake calipers. Moving on in the center here, on My license plate where it's supposed to go. I just got the BulletWorks Life Bar Plate Delete, my license plate relocation kit, and that's just from Grimspeed. It was super easy to put in. It just screws right into the tow hitch there, and then of course you can move it and adjust it however you want it to look. In the center we have the Subaru emblem. I have been meaning to switch this out and get rid of the chrome, and then I know I want like a black, I just want a black one, but I can't find one in the center that I really like. I used to have a glow-in-the-dark one on the WRX, but I just don't think that's the one I want for this car. And then of course we just have the STI badging here. All right, and then moving on to the back here, we obviously have the STI wing. We have a Subaru emblem, some Subaru badging, symmetrical all-wheel drive, and then another STI badge. Up here we have an STI overlay, and it is carbon fiber. Over here we have backup camera, another tow hook hitch there, works just like the one on the front. We have a mini diffuser, it does come stock. Obviously you can switch it out for something more aggressive, which I intend to do very soon. And then we have the MagnaFLow axle back performance exhaust system here too. For wheels, I went with the TSW Silvano wheels. They come in a couple of different colors, but for the black paint, I went with the matte bronze color, and it is the perfect bronze matte finish. I also love how it sticks out a little bit. It's not like flush or caved in. And the size, I went with 19.8.5. And then for tires here, I have the Continental ExtremeContact Sport. This is an all-season tire. I'll have it linked in the description box below. Stock, the WRX and the STI both come with high-performance summer tires, and in the snow and the winter, even if it's just a little bit of slush on the road, they are incredibly slippery. If you're looking for an all-season tire, I recommend this one. Any all season will do. I had the Michelins before on my WRX and did incredible in the snow. I could take it snowboarding in the mountains. Didn't have any sort of issues or problems at all. For brakes, with the sports package, it comes with either a red, which I had on the WRX, a black, or these neon brake. So the STI comes with a high performance brakes, WRX is standard. You can always switch out the standard brakes for a high performance brakes. The previous owner before me on the STI, he had gone from the high performance brakes down to standard brakes. I'm sure it was just because the rotors and the brake pads are much cheaper. So when I got the car, I did revert back to the Brembo brakes. So that was an expensive upgrade, but I do think it was super worth it. So looking at the side here, we have the vortex generator. That's just a press and stick, as well as the rain guards here. And now we'll take a look at the inside of the car. Before we get in, first I want to show you the door handle is where you can lock and unlock it. So here we'll lock it. And then here we can unlock it just by grabbing the handle too. All right, so moving on into the interior here. Let's go ahead and start with the driver's side door. We do have the red stitching across the entire car. Here we have the window controls, window locking, mirror adjustment, the blind spot sensor, so you can turn that off and on. I have not had a car that has this sensor. My WRX did not, but I love it for my STI. And then here you'll see where this lights up if there is a car in your blind spot. The brightness control here, so it does control all three screens. Here we have the traction control on or off button to your trunk. Down here we have access to your fuse box as well as your ECU unit. So if you do have an access port, that's where you will plug it into. Down here we have the Harman Kardon. This is the sound system upgrade. Here are the front gauges. So if you buy a WRX between the years of 15 through 17, these front gauges will look a little bit different. They're more red. But if you buy an 18 and up, they are white, which I think looks a little bit better. And then here we have the steering wheel controls. So you can change what you see on the center screen in here. You can also adjust the drive mode that you're in. So you have Sport, Sport Sharp or Sport Plus, and then also Intelligence mode. You can change it with this dial here and then also see your changes up on the screen. I like to keep it in Sport mode for my normal driving. With the performance package on the Recaros, they are heated, so you have two settings, high and low. I'm really happy my Subaru has heated Recaros because my Mustang does not. And then I also took out the standard shift knob and I went with the one from Cobb. And then here we have the center screen. So this is kind of like the home page. Typically I just have it set to my audio device, so my Bluetooth audio. You can also elect to have the navigation, which I don't ever use, but here's what it looks like. And then we also have the push to start button. And then here we have the top screen. We have your time, temperature outside, and then your boost gauge. So this is where I like to keep it. But you can switch it out to your different screens. We have your trip information as far as your fuel mileage. Here you can go in and change your settings. Moving on to the back, here I opened the trunk so that way you can see what it's like inside. I do have the all-weather mat, which really helps in keeping it clean, especially if you do like a lot of outdoorsy stuff. You can extend the trunk by going in and lowering the back seats. So they have these little levers. There's one on the other side too, and it just drops down the seats, really opening it up back there. And now I will go ahead and show you what it looks like under the hood. Let me make a fool of myself. It's one-handed, all right. If anything, this takes skill. All right. Voila. Alright, so that covers everything that I have done to my Subaru so far, as well as a couple hints on what I plan on having come up next. Now we're gonna head out. I'm gonna show you a startup video for my exhaust. I will show you a couple of like acceleration clips, so it'll be like a normal acceleration, fast acceleration, maybe a launch, and then just of the exhaust alone on how it sounds with revs. So I'll do 3,000 RPMs, 5,000 RPMs, and then probably like a 6.5 or 6,500 RPMs. So that'll be on there, so that way you can hear like what the exhaust really sounds like. I think it sounds incredible. It sounds different than other STIs on the road. It sounds a little bit more aggressive, more of like a rumble noise. So for the exhaust, I have the MagnaFLow Axleback Performance Exhaust System. It is just like the lower one. It's only an Axleback. I believe they have the Axleback, catback, and then like a full performance exhaust system. The Axleback is about 600, so it's not too bad. I have been considering the like full MagnaFLow exhaust system, so maybe that'll be in the near future. We'll see. So let's get out of this thing and go shoot some clips. covered everything that you were looking for. Because if you have any questions or comments or feedback, please let me know. I do plan on having some future things come up with the STI, so hopefully check back and I'll have those videos posted. If not, check out my Instagram. I'll probably have updates on there too. If you have an Instagram, then tag me in your build. I'd love to see it. I'm always looking for different ideas or like inspiration on how I want to do my car, as well as just, you know, joining the whole Subaru community. I do have other cars that I'm planning on posting too, but my Instagram is very heavily Subaru dominant, so check that out. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe so that way you guys know the next time I put out a video with my future parts. I also plan on doing videos for the other cars that you might have seen in the back areas of this video, so keep an eye out for that too. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.